From makeup artistry to editing to distribution and everything in between, Sacramento Filmworks is your one-stop shop for all things filmmaking. I'm your host, Klein Moore.
And I'm your co-host, Kenesha Allen. Sit tight, don't move, and buckle your seatbelt, because up next we've got a wonderful show where we're going to show what it's like to be a film producer in today's age.
Excellent. Now, some folks in the film industry have a job, go to work. Our next guest, she has a mission and a vision, and she's building an empire.
That's right. She is certainly a pioneer. She's a gymnast, a film producer. She owns several companies, a nonprofit, and she's on a mission to make Sacramento the hub of entertainment. Welcome, Ms. Christina Marie.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks
for being on the show.
Thank
Excited
you.
to have you. Now, so many different things that you do, and I spent at least an hour or two on your website just clicking and like, oh, this too. And, you know, all of these things work together, though, to form a real direction for Sacramento and for yourself and other people. But tell us, how did this whole thing get started? What's your beginnings?
Oh, wow. You know, I'm no big shot or anything like that. I have very humble beginnings in the film industry as an actress. I've been acting since the 80s and just worked with the studios and independent and located up to Northern California. And
So you were in LA?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And just, I really didn't like a lot of the material that was being written or the parts that were available for women of my particular look. And so I was playing just like kind of just some undesirable roles, like the drug addict, you know, because I'm so skinny. Yeah. And, you know, I would argue, like, I'm ballet thin too. Like, why can't we have more ballet movies, right? And so I just started writing. And then from writing, I started producing, and then producing, I started directing, and it just kind of swirled around, and I just became an all-around filmmaker.
And so saying that, what is your vision for all of this? What are you trying to do?
So, well, now it's evolved to, I've seen the shortages in Northern California, and as far as infrastructure and as compared to Los Angeles or New York.
Right.
And said, you know, we really need more here. We have over 2,500 filmmakers in the region.
That's right.
And there's just not enough resources. So I am developing a concept known as Indiewood, and it's a place where the creative class can come, live, work, and play. So it's, when all told, over 800 acres of soundstage complex, support offices, a school,
Artist lofts.
Artist lofts.
I have that.
Yes.
Good.
And recreation all built together so that we can create a centrifuge of the talents, just kind of smash everybody together in one really centralized place.
And great things will come out of that. You put this many creative people together, yourself and the others, and Sacramento is a large, talented group.
Yes.
Just when you talk about resources, you had a little bit of story when you said you had somebody up from HBO. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, okay. So, you know, Big Love came up with HBO, and they shot right here in the river a few years back. And one of the producing staff folks said to me, well, hey, you know, this is really frustrating. I don't have this, I don't have that. And we're in Sacramento, so we're just going to have to do without. They were really upset. And I just kind of stepped in. I said, you know, look, I know I'm just a day player today, but what do you need? And they listed what they needed, and I said, you know what, just give me like a half hour, 45 minutes. I'm sure I can have it on set.
Okay.
And you had things arriving within 10 or 15 minutes.
Oh, I was calling up my friends. I'm like, oh my God, I get dinner. You know? And they just came down and fixed what they needed, and you know, they were like really pleasantly surprised. And they said, well, do you have like just like this resource book or something? And I said, no, you know, we have a fledgling industry
You
here.
have an idea for Indiewood.
So, well, and Indiewood was still like just, you know, this was a few years back before we even had the business plan finished for Indiewood. And so we were all just kind of networking with each other and trying to support each other. And you know, when something like HBO comes to town, we all know really fast.
So then, piggybacking off of that, how important is it to have these relationships where you can pick up the phone and say, hey, I need this and this and this? How important is that?
That's extremely important. You know, networking is the number one thing of the film industry, and any industry really. I mean,
Right.
you know, it doesn't matter if you're software or medical industry or whatever. It's who you know, who you surround yourself with is what you will achieve.
Right.
So, you know, you can't just, like if you're a writer, you can't just sit at home and be a hermit and expect to get your book out there. You need to network with other writers and agents and people that are agents of change to get things moving.
So as a producer, talk to us a little bit about what are your specific duties on projects that you are producing?
Everything, including getting lattes.
You got to be multi-talented. You got to do it all.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like, well, right now, we currently have a movie, The Dark, that we have partnered up with another production company to create. We are trying to set a Guinness World Record by making the fastest film shot, fastest feature-length film shot. And
You're giving yourself 3 days.
3 days, yes.
Okay.
We're not
Ambitious.
crazy. There's actually, somebody else has done it in the past. In 1960, Roger Corman did it with Little Shop of Horrors. And while his reasons weren't to get the Guinness record, we thought, you know, Roger Corman's a great inspiration to the independent film industry, and why not try to be the one that sets the Guinness record as an homage to Roger Corman?
Right.
And
We
show that
actually-
it can be done. Sorry, right here in
We
Sacramento.
we actually have a teaser of that, and we want everybody to get a chance to see it. So let's go ahead and run that clip.
Okay.
Scary stuff, obviously a horror film. I can't wait to see it. Tell us what you guys are doing with the film as far as trying to help out some local charities.
Well, we're actually doing a few things with the film, but one thing that we are doing is we're inviting people to like our Facebook page and really kind of travel along with us as we make the film as an outreach for education. And for the first up to 10,000 likes that we get on the Facebook page, by the time we shoot, we will donate by matching $1 per like, up to $10,000.
Fantastic.
So yeah, it's going to go to Autism Speaks. It's a charity that speaks to us, and it is something that I have followed carefully as a parent and been concerned about. So our team feels the same way, and we chose Autism Speaks, and we thought we wanted to make an impact. So.
And while we're on that, what's your Facebook page, just so the folks know?
I believe it is facebook.com/thedarkmovie.
We're trying to get you as much likes as we can.
Yeah, and you can also go to thedarkmovie.com and just hit the like from the site right there.
Okay,
Excellent,
perfect.
excellent. Yeah. Then you're also helping people get jobs. Talk to us a little bit about your artist collective.
So Capital Indie Collective was created as a nonprofit to work synergistically with Cowtown Film Productions, my for-profit film company. And together they're working to create Indiewood under the governance of the 3 E's, entertainment obviously, education, and environment. And in that environment clause, we have, green energy, and not just like, a decent green energy rating. We're going for net positive. We're going to be the first net zero sound stages in the world.
Perfect.
So it's very ambitious, but it answers such a huge call to jobs. And with that, we have the Artworks program. We're trying to get NEA funding. I'm putting in 8 films from Cowtown Film Productions as a means of hiring locals first.
Good.
And so there's going to be a lot of jobs created, hundreds of jobs created just in the film production alone. And then there's also, because we're swirling this in green energy, we're creating an innovative center for scientists to come and create new products and display them. So it's all about job creation. It's all about local sustainability and growing Northern California.
Fantastic. And there's a nonprofit aspect that's connected with some other things that you do, and we're going to come right back to that and ask more about that in our next segment. But one last thing, if someone wanted to get in touch with you, they're interested in some of these other ideas or these other projects, best way to get in touch with you is also through the Christina.
TheChristinaMarie.com. Yeah.
Christina Marie. We'll have that information, and we'll bring more to you when we come back with Sacramento Filmworks. Sacramento Filmworks is sponsored by the Northern California Filmmakers Coalition, which provides filmmakers an opportunity to learn and network with professionals in the filmmaking industry in the Sacramento region. Join us each Wednesday at 6 p.m. at Access Sacramento, 4623 T Street, Suite A. We'll see you in the movies. And we're back on Sacramento Filmworks with our guest, Christina Marie. And we're going to go to Kenesha with some questions from our studio audience.
That's right. I'm here in our studio audience, and some of our guests have a few questions for Christina. But first, I want to know, tell us a little bit more about your nonprofit.
So the Capital Indie Collective focuses on giving tools to artists like distribution, networking, arts education. It's all about getting the artist molded into the entrepreneur. So we're basically creating enterprise here in Sacramento.
Okay, awesome. So we got a question here.
Hi, thanks for coming, Christina Marie. My question is, it's a lot of filmmakers and entrepreneurs that want to get things going in the industry, but they run up against a wall of money. Mm-hmm. So you said, how do you get past just the grant phases? And do you offer something that can help people get through the grant writing phase?
Yes, actually right now we have a program called Media Mentoring, and that's geared towards multimedia, so anything from print media to web media to visual media like the film, things like that. And part of that goes through the grant writing process. Right now, SMAC, the Sacramento Metropolitan Arts Commission, has a grant open, the micro grant, and I believe it's for $595. And you just have to basically write up a proposal and submit it, and it can go to the individual artist or an organization, which is a really special grant. And I call this one the grant with training wheels, because it is very simple for an artist to do. And I find that a lot of artists, while they're wildly creative, they're kind of lacking on that business side and a little bit of mentorship to get through. And so what we're doing is we're coordinating through several different grant applications. A group of us are going down to AFM this year. And so you can write your proposal as part of our documentary we're making and come down with us. So.
Excellent.
And so you're helping people to develop their own talents, right?
Exactly. And like right now there's a thing that the CFAA, the Capital Film Arts Alliance, is doing with SMAC and the Sacramento Library and Sacramento Access, the Poe Project. So you might want to write a SMAC grant for that.
Okay.
So it'd be
awesome. A lot of things out there for people to do. So we have another question from Charles.
Hi, Christine.
Hello.
I have one question. You said a magic word, and that was jobs.
Yes.
Now, for those out there who are interested in pursuing a career in this area, how can they contact your organization to get more information?
You can go to capitalindycollective.org. You can go to cowtownfilmproductions.com. You can go to thechristinamarie.com. You can find me on Facebook. You can holler at me on the street. Basically it's networking and being persistent in this town particularly. There's not a whole lot of funding in Sacramento for, major feature-length films. So you kind of have to, if you're interested in film per se, you really do have to network and find your niche and do some volunteer work at first, some deferred pay deals, maybe some back-end deals, which means you get paid upon the sale of the film. There's other ways to interact with the folks in the Bay, up in El Dorado County. They have a great film commissioner up there. Kathleen Dodge is very interactive. You can register with the Sacramento Film Commission with Lucy Steffens. And let's say if you're interested in gripping or writing or whatever, you just go to the website, you register, and you say what your specialty is. And that kind of helps get you out there. Right now, you can also go network with the Capital Film Arts Alliance. You can go to Sacramento Access. There's so many things out there to do. It's just that we all need to be more aware of them.
That's right. And well, there is a lot of stuff. In fact, we want to collaborate with you with the Northern California Filmmakers Coalition as well. Yeah. I think you bring a good point, which is if it kind of doesn't exist, you have to build it. You have to create it. And so you've done a lot of that. When did you get started on this empire?
Back in '97, I started. 2 years ago, we put our sights just north of the rail yards. And we almost had a property, but there was an issue with some toxic waste from the rail yards. And so we moved on, and we are now at the stage of selecting more properties, and we're waiting on finance, which is actually may come to us out of China with a EB-5 program. It's an immigration finance thing. So.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
So a lot going on in the works.
Yeah, definitely.
Excellent.
So kind of piggybacking off of that then, where do you see yourself and your companies and your mission 5 years from now?
Oh, 5 years from now. Let's see, let me calculate when the money's supposed to come and when we're supposed to fund and when we're supposed to build.
It always goes back to money.
You know, it's kind of like an octopus. There's always, it's just this fluid moving thing, and you always have so many different irons in the fire. I mean, 5 years from now, we already launched our filmmaking process with The Dark. So, you know, those are what we're trying to focus on first, is the lower budget films, getting the region built up with a little bit of awareness.
Sure.
And then when the EB-5 finance application goes through and we get some grant money, which should come through maybe in a couple years, then we can really break ground and get going. And so we're also looking at partnering with the city and the state to get buildings.
Absolutely.
Since we're nonprofits. So
Absolutely.
we should have buildings, and we should have movies, and we should have a swirling vortex of creativity very quickly.
Excellent.
Very cool. So we would like to thank you again for coming on to our show. We really appreciate it. Got some exciting and informational stuff today. Again, thank you for coming to the show.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
And when we come back, Kenesha's going to shed some light on a local treasure in the Sacramento spotlight. If you'd like to be a member of our studio audience, to meet and greet film industry professionals, visit our website at ncfc.tv.
Welcome back to the show, and this is our Spotlight segment where we highlight local talent. Now, today's guest is a member of our own, and she is a makeup artist extraordinaire. We'd like to welcome Mr. Valerie Taylor to the show. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me, Kenesha. This is great.
So, makeup artist, tell us a little bit about, and then not just makeup artists, but you actually have a makeup school.
We actually have a makeup school.
Okay.
I did start off as a makeup artist. Well, actually, if I go back a little bit further, I started a company in 2009, Airbrush Makeup, Flawless Air Cosmetics, and I actually created the product. Not enough time on this show to tell about how we did it, but it was pretty amazing. Started off with an aloe vera based product, and we were so excited to find that it looked great on film. So over that 4 years, I started doing makeup professionally and really fell in love with it, fell in love with the industry. I've always been interested in it. And then in January of this year, we opened a makeup school, a professional makeup school.
Okay, so that just goes to show kind of your vision manifesting and growing.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about the school.
Well, the school at Flawless Pro Makeup Academy, we have a 3-month program, and students learn. They go from a foundational month of just learning face shapes and eye shapes, lip shapes, complexions, and so forth. And then they can move into airbrush bridal or even airbrush avant-garde. So that's more for like photography. Okay. And then in the 3rd month, they have a drag and special effects option.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's always fun. And then also a film, learning to do makeup for film.
Okay.
So they have a wide range of things. So we don't just teach makeup for glamour, and I think when people hear makeup, they think only glamour.
Right, yeah.
But this is really for professional makeup services, yeah.
Okay. And so you and I were talking a little bit before. Now you said you can teach people how to make blood,
yes,
bullet holes, scabs, anything.
Right, all of that good
you can
stuff.
teach them how to make.
Absolutely. Well, one of the great things is we do teach the students to make blood, and it makes some people go, blood, what are you talking about? But the good thing about it is knowing how to make it. If you're ever on a production and the director says, we need gallons of this stuff, you know, we're going to film a massacre, you don't have to lose your job. You actually know how to go to, if you're a graduate, you actually know how to go to the supermarket and buy the ingredients to make as much blood as, fake blood obviously, but as much blood as necessary for the production.
Okay, perfect. So you are teaching these students kind of everything they need to know.
Everything that they need to know. Now, I need to make it clear. Now, I have pros that teach them.
Okay.
So it's not just me.
And we have a pro that works here on the show,
we have a
too,
pro
Willie
that
Green.
works here on the show. He's the makeup artist extraordinaire as well, Dr. Willie Green, and he's also associated with our school as our chief instructor. But the students also learn from people who have been in the film industry. So we're excited about that and looking forward to, you know, as much as they can do and carry it forward into many productions as opposed to only being regulated to, you know, just doing makeup for friends. I mean, that's fine. That's fine, and it can be fun. But, you know, when you're going out with your girls and you guys are all going to the club, well, they don't always pay.
Yeah.
So we're looking for opportunities. We're looking for opportunities for them so that they can be recognized as professionals and really use their craft.
Right.
Yeah.
And especially with, you know, we just had Christina Marie on the show,
Yeah,
and she
fantastic.
mentioned trying to make Sacramento more involved in the film industry.
Absolutely.
And so we're going to need people to come and do makeup when Sacramento blows up,
Exactly, exactly. And to know their craft. So learning face shapes, and one of the things that we do with the Dragon Special Effects program, you and I were talking before, is they make bullet holes. And so that means that they're working with latex and the fake blood, obviously, learning how to match you know, tones of the skin and so forth. So this is all great. And then, of course, learning how to work with photographers, directors, producers. That's part of their learning. So it's not just they're only working with their instructor, but we actually have pros from the industry who have nothing to do with makeup come in and talk to them so that they're not thrown off, you know, when a director is not having that, you know, the best day, and they're thinking, oh my God, you know, they start crying or something like that. No. You've gone to Flawless Pro Makeup Academy. You know how to hold your ground. You know how to receive instruction and get the project done.
All right, that's awesome. I like to hear that. Now I want to talk about your makeup line a little bit more. So you are one of the very, very few people here in Sacramento that is actually like certified and knows what they're doing with airbrush makeup.
Yes. I guess that means yes. It's kind of scary when you put it like that, but yeah, that's true. We started the airbrush makeup company back in 2009. It was very, very new. It's very Hollywood. It's very Hollywood. So, you know, the great thing about it is people are very interested in it. We have a lot of brides who absolutely love it because they look great in those photographs that are just going to last a lifetime. But moving it into the movie industry, we found that directors and producers love it because it takes so little time to do it. So this is a great product. Like, as I said, it looks great on camera, and we're very proud of it. Very proud of it.
Now, real quick, what are the differences between, like, say, your, you know, average liquid foundation from airbrush? Why is airbrush so great?
Well, airbrush is fantastic because our product, and I can't speak to the others. This is not about them, this is about us. But our product is mineral based. So makeup, real quick, a science lesson in makeup. Most makeup comes from a factory, and the color is made with dyes. So they're unnatural colors. Our product is made with mineral colors, so those colors are a little more natural. They complement the skin a little bit better. The other great thing is that liquid makeup has a lot of fillers in it, and that's a good thing if you need to change the texture on the skin. So sometimes we do use liquid makeup, but the airbrush makeup is great because ours is an aloe vera base, so it kind of helps the skin as it's being put on. And then finally, there's no oil in our makeup.
Oh, okay.
So that's another good thing. So those are the differences between our makeup and just regular liquid makeup.
Okay. One last question for you. I want to finish it off. What sets aside your makeup school from the others that are out there?
Oh, gee whiz. You know, I'm from Los Angeles. I love LA. Yay, LA Lakers. I love LA. But what we did differently is that, first of all, the price of school. We patterned our program after several schools in Los Angeles being the hub. Well, not really the hub anymore of the movie industry.
We're changing that.
Yeah, we're changing that. We're changing that. But our school is based on some of the curriculum that we found that we really liked. And so here, the students actually get a rolling makeup cart. They get all of their gear. They get palettes. They get their makeup. They get their airbrush equipment. So our program is different because we don't just show you how to do it.
Right.
Dr. Green is not just demo, you know, he's not demonstrating how to do it, but you get all of your gear. So that's a really important thing and difference about our program.
Well, perfect. You and I could sit here and talk about
I
makeup
know.
all
It's
day
fun.
long. We're going to cut it short. I really
Okay.
want to thank you for coming on the show.
Thank
We
you for
truly
having me.
appreciate it, and good luck to you in all your future endeavors.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And that's our show for today. Sacramento Filmworks is brought to you by the Northern California Filmmakers Coalition in partnership with Access Sacramento. We'd like to thank our wonderful guests, our studio audience, and those of you watching at home. I'm your host, Klein Moore.
And I'm your co-host, Kenesha Allen, and you've been watching Sacramento Filmworks, where we show you how film works.